So now we're recording, so you can stop it if you want.
That in the Survey Monkey as well, so you won't feel left out.
So this is the first ad, pretty straightforward. And then here's the second one that we've picked out. They're both pertaining to secondhand smoke. And if you want to see the first one again, I can go back, but that's all I have. Just we'll need a few responses in the Survey Monkey. That can be now or after the meeting or whenever you want. It's 3 questions, so it won't take long at all. Thank you for your time.
Can you show us the first one again, Kyle? Okay, yeah. So I think this one in particular talks about, kind of goes against the idea that vaping is healthier for you than cigarette smoking, right? It kind of combats that idea. So yeah, I hadn't seen that one yet, so I think that's.
So may I ask, is this an ad for a magazine, or would this have music or messaging or talking on it?
So this will be just a still picture that we post on Facebook, and we pay to have them boost it for us. We'll also include a short text message in the post that says encourages use of the quit line and tries to explain how secondhand smoke at any level is unhealthy.
Okay, because I didn't get the first one. I mean, I looked at it several times. I'm like, okay, what are we saying here? But okay, thank you.
Kyle, someone asked in the chat, are we voting based on smoking in general or vaping specific? Which is this ad for? Is this just...
This would be just secondhand smoke in general.
Okay, so it's for the policy one.
Yeah.
So it's just smoking in general, but vaping also goes into secondhand smoke as well. All right, did everyone get enough time to fill out the Survey Monkey for us?
Wants to do that now?
Yeah, go ahead and do it now, just while it's fresh in your mind.
Where is the link to this
It should be in the
Survey Monkey?
I'm going to copy and paste it so it's at the bottom again.
Okay.
I also am hearing myself echo, so I'm going to mute everyone, but if you want to talk, feel free to unmute yourself.
Okay, where's the link at?
It should be
Technically
in the
challenged.
chat.
In the chat.
Yes. Okay. So in the bottom right corner, there should be a little speech bubble in chat. If you click on that, you should be able to see it.
Okay. And again, if you don't have access to the chat box, we will email both of the ads and the Survey Monkey out after the meeting. So feel free to do it then if that is easier for you.
I also forgot to mention at the beginning, but we are recording this today for people who couldn't be here at the meeting, just so they're able to stay updated on what we're doing and have the chance to also vote on this ad and put any input in. So I'll give you guys just another minute to fill out that survey, and then we can move on to the rest of the agenda. And if you guys haven't already, if you want to put your name and organization in the chat, just to make sure we get everyone here today. And of course, if you don't have access to it, feel free to email. That's totally fine too. But we can go ahead and move on to the next thing. The next thing on our agenda is to go over the community readiness scores. So I have something for you guys to look at. All right, so we just have a little community readiness update for you guys. I'm not sure why it looks like that, but that's okay. So just going over what community readiness is really fast, just in case some of you don't know, it's pretty much just the willingness of a community, so Clark County, to take action on an issue. So for us, it's the willingness of Clark County to take action on tobacco prevention and vaping specifically for this task force. So there was a survey that was sent out in June to determine the scores. I think a lot of you probably filled it out, and we found that our overall community readiness score was 5.5. The highest that you can be is 9. So our score being 5.5 put us in what's called the preparation stage. So it just means that the community offers modest support, moderate of tobacco prevention efforts. So we can definitely continue our efforts in planning different activities to try to lower the smoking rate, vaping rate in the county. So we can look at the different sections a little closer. They're all pretty similar in their scores, but the 5 things that go into community readiness include community knowledge of efforts, leadership, community climate, knowledge of issue, and resources related to the issue. So for policy, we focus specifically on secondhand smoke, and it's pretty similar to the overall score. It was 5.74. The next area that we look at is youth, and youth is pretty closely tied to vaping, but vaping is also separate too. So for this one, it was a little bit lower than policy. It was 5.4. Cessation, also a little lower, 5.26. But all really similar. Vaping is one of the highest, 5.8. So that means that our efforts as a task force and as individual sectors are definitely working. We definitely need to keep working towards that because vaping still is a big issue in the county. But great job to all of you in your efforts. And then health equity, which is a new one this year for tobacco-related disparities, is 5.26. So we really are just in the middle stage. We can definitely continue our efforts to raise our community readiness score and make the community even more willing or help them get more willing, not make. So we can continue to have our community get healthier when it comes to tobacco use and smoking. Emma, is there anything that you want to add to that at all?
No, I guess the only thing is that we have improved every year. So they've had us do community readiness for a couple of years now, and we are slowly going up. So it means that the work that we're doing is having an effect, right? So that's good news. It seems slow, but it really is, moving.
Yes. All right. Does anyone have any questions about that at all? If not, we can go ahead and move on to the next thing, and that is the community action plan. So I think you guys started it in February, March, and then COVID kind of took over, so the meetings stopped. So I have it here for us to look at. We can just go over it. I would like to go over it a little more in-depthly next month at our meeting, so we can make some changes. Sorry, I'm trying to find it on here. There it is. Okay. All right. So with the community action plan, there were 3 goals. So the first one was to integrate vaping education into 1 additional school in Clark County by June 2021. So that was the alternative to suspension courses that Andrea would go into the school and talk to kids who got caught vaping. We want to continue that. The second goal was to raise vaping community readiness by 0.5 by June 2021. And the plan for that was to do that through completing 4 vaping trainings to different sectors in the community. So at the school, which we actually already did 1 this month, community groups, employers, parents can fit in there by June of 2021. So we're still in the process of planning that. And then the last one is pass a T21 enforcement policy by June 2021. So we wanted to increase community support for that and pass a point of sale policy in the city of Springfield to enforce the T21 law even more. So we can just take a look at each one of those a little bit closer. There are some gaps, so if anyone wants to volunteer to help with any of these, please feel free. If you're muted, unmute yourself. So the first one is the alternative to suspension courses. One is to assess the types of learning that schools are doing. I'm in charge of that. So I talked to, Tecumseh, and they went back to school last week, I think on the 19th. But they would like to do the alternative to suspension courses in an online format. So I said that I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know the dates. So whenever they have students for me to talk to, we'll go ahead and start doing that. And on here, it said that we wanted to expand to green and local schools, which is great. So I'll have to contact them. And the goal is to do that monthly. The second part of this goal is the Vaping tobacco curriculum. We wanted to integrate that more into the schools. So I don't know, Beth, are you on here?
Yes, I'm on here.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Is Leslie on here too, or
I don't think she is. She told me that she had a conflict. So I don't think that she's on today.
okay. My position with Wellspring is to implement Vaping in the schools, and Dawn White and I, now with Wellspring, both of us are trained as trainers so that we can train educators to go into the schools. COVID has had a little impact on our ability to teach, but we're tackling that by building a online version of the Vaping curriculum, and we're sharing those responsibilities among Greene and Madison and Clark County so that we can tackle education however it looks. I'm probably most excited about Tecumseh because they have a full range of prevention programming, starting with PACs in the elementary school, Vaping starting as early as 3rd grade, all the way up through 8th grade, with 7th grade participating, I think, in some other prevention programs. So 7th grade is the only grade level that isn't doing BOTFIN between 3rd and 8th grade. We're in Tecumseh, Green and Hayward, Catholic Central, Miami View, Kenwood, Simon Kenton, and I'm excited to say that Juvenile Court will be starting a BOTFIN program with their girls program this year. Candace Copeland has agreed. Also Ridgewood School. Most of the schools are starting in November. Some are starting as late as January. The other great news is, in collaboration with Wittenberg University's Hagen Center and the help of Dr. Ed Haseke, we've been able to develop an online way of analyzing the data that we collect. So students participating in BOTFIN now take a pre-survey online, a post-survey, and within 2 weeks, we have great baseline data now. They've taken all of the paper surveys that we collected last year and given us this baseline data now that we can look at how effective BOTFIN is. I was really encouraged by the data that we collected last year. A lot of statistically significant increases in knowledge. We have a ways to go with drug resistance skills, but that's great that the teachers know that and that we can work with that. And I'm hoping maybe with the help of this task force that we might be able to support the educators with folks coming in and teaching the drug alcohol section of the BOTFIN program. So I think that's about it. Are there any questions? I'd be happy to share some of the results. We have the data analysis reports. Every school gets about a 5-page report from Wittenberg University. And in case you didn't know, there's a 50-50 program available at Wittenberg's working with interns, where Wellspring only has to pay half of minimum wage to work with the interns. So I have a great support system there. Ashley Save is the name of the Wittenberg intern that is working on that data.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for speaking a little more on that. I appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions at all about that?
No questions, but Beth, can we have that data for the city of Springfield, please?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
This is Joyce Chilton. May we, the city of Springfield, have that data?
Oh, absolutely. I also just wanted to mention, because it's a great opportunity to get data from students, we've added some 8 questions before the survey to get some perception data on how COVID is impacting students. So one of the questions we've asked the students is, what do you think is the #1 health concern among adults? It doesn't matter whether these kids are living in Greene County, Madison. Well, Madison hasn't implemented this questionnaire yet, but it doesn't matter whether you're living in Greene County, the city, whether you're going to GISA. And Global Impact STEM Academy is really off and running with BOTFIN. Kids are saying that that the #1 health concern, most students feel that alcohol is the #1 health concern among adults, which I thought was interesting. But we're also asking students how COVID is affecting them right now and getting some interesting data. So yes, Joyce, I'd be more than happy to share what data I have with you. How about if I email you after this?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So, sorry, just to clarify on that then. So Beth, do you train the teachers and the staff for that?
Yes, I probably should have mentioned, because this is a vaping task or a tobacco task force, that the second concern among students, both for themselves and for adults, is vaping.
Okay.
Yes, I teach Botvin in some of the schools. But
Okay.
we are most effective when we can get phys ed and health instructors. And a lot of social workers and mental health therapists are getting trained as Botvin educators. And we can do that as well. So we leave it up to the schools, whatever is most convenient for them. They can opt into having a teacher come in and teach,
Okay.
somebody trained within the schools.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So we're going to move on to the second goal. Sorry, did someone say something? No? Okay. So we're going to move on to the second. Oh, yes.
Cassidy, I'm so sorry. If there's anybody on the call that doesn't know what Botvin is, it's an evidence-based curriculum, and it teaches self-regulation, self-esteem, decision-making. It teaches about tobacco and alcohol prevention, and studies have shown that it's proven to cut drug use by up to 75%, alcohol use by up to 60%, tobacco by up to 87%, and violence by up to 50%. And it's based on 35 years of research. I don't know if anybody didn't know that, but I just thought I should share that.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a very cool thing that we get to have in our schools that you can provide. So thank you. All right. So for goal 2, it's to raise vaping community readiness by 0.5 by June 2021. So the first step is a communications plan. So identifying resources that identifying resources and means that we can use to share the vaping messaging. So that would include what we advertise with, where we advertise with, who would be willing to partner with us, that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if anyone would be able to kind of take the lead on that. If no one wants to volunteer right now, that's totally fine. We can talk about it next month as well, because we can go a little more in depth that month. But the next part of that is then identifying partners that can share the tobacco campaigns. So I can do that, us as a health department can do that, and then identifying partners that can do complimentary posts. And that can be any one of you if we were to post or advertise something about vaping and its effects and everything like that. You guys can always feel free to share it if you think that it goes along with, make it bigger. I think that was from the PowerPoint. But yeah, please always feel free to share any of our posts that we do about any of this. We're trying to reach as many people as we can. So if you guys have a Facebook for whatever organization you represent and have access to that, or even on your personal Facebooks, that would always be great. So the next part is vaping trainings. So utilizing the task force to identify organizations that would benefit from vaping training. So we already did students. I know Deputy Lane was very helpful in getting us connected with the schools this year. So thank you so much for that. We did a presentation at Southeastern. We have one planned for Northwestern next month. We also talked with some of the youth at Osterlin. So that was great. I've talked to the Bats before with Beth. So we've done youth so far, but we will need some community partners. I think some of you have actually listened to the vaping presentation in September. We will need parents. So if anyone has any parent groups that they can think of that would like to listen to a vaping presentation, please reach out to me. We'd also like to get a youth-led group to be able to learn the vaping presentation and share it with others, with their peers, with other community organizations. So if anyone has a youth-led group that would be interested in doing something like that, I'd be happy to present the presentation to them if they would like to hear it, send in any materials and notes that I have on it for them to have. And then this should be 4, but we have a goal to present the 4 trainings by April of next year.
Cassidy, I just wondered, is there a possibility that I could reach out to the Botman educators in the middle schools and see if we can incorporate the vaping training into the Botman curriculum?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I can send you, do you want me to send you the presentation? Would that be easiest?
Well, one thing I was thinking we could do is offer the vaping training as a part of so that somebody like you or someone would present the vaping training, and then we could encourage the Botvin educator to identify, a group of youth who would then present within their schools, or that there would be some sort of expectation of the educator then to identify kids that would do the training for other classes.
Yeah, we can definitely do something like that.
Okay, all right. I'll reach out to you on that.
Perfect. Just let me know.
Can I ask a quick clarifying question? Is this training already developed?
The vaping training that I'm talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is already developed. It was created from the one from last year, and I put a little more information in it. But yes, it is already created. It's like a 30-minute presentation.
Okay, so it's more of just like information that you're giving the youth through it, or is it more of a curriculum like Catch My Breath, which Carrie mentioned in the comments?
Sorry, I didn't see that.
If I remember correctly, I think that we based it off of Stanford curriculum,
Okay.
which is what we sort of used for all of our. So we did it for, we used Stanford for the. Sorry, that echo is awful. We used it for the alternative to suspension. And I think we've just used it because it's free evidence-based curriculum, and we've used it for almost all of our curriculums.
I don't know what shoot, now I'm echoing. I don't know what Catch My Breath is, but I do know that I've heard Cassidy's presentation. And what I like about it is that when she finishes it, she has a PowerPoint with a script and everything that she can send to youth, so that once she's presented it, it's a foolproof script with a PowerPoint that kids can deliver to other kids.
That's great. Would you be able to share it, Cassidy?
Yeah, I can definitely share that.
Awesome. I'm just interested, just because I'm unfamiliar. This is my first time with the group, so just trying to get a sense of what it is.
Yes, I can definitely send that to you.
Cassidy,
Yes. Sorry, who was talking?
this is Carrie, and
Okay.
Catch My Breath is there. I think I've seen the video that and the presentation that you did from the health department. Not positive, but I think I have. They're very similar, but Catch My Breath has been evidence-based. It has evaluation post and pre. It comes out of the state of Texas. And the training and the materials are free online. So it's available. I do have that material, but you can Google it and get it. It's something that they're using in Montgomery County schools, and that's how I found out about it. Actually, you're probably familiar with it from there also. And then we also just this summer trained some trainers in Prime for Life, which is substance abuse prevention that can be used in high schools. And right now we have the ability to do that free training at McKinley Hall. So if schools are interested in that, it could also be used for an alternative to suspension. It's about a 4.5-hour training that is evidence-based, but we can support those efforts that you're doing with those trainings from McKinley if they're useful.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I'll look those up and I can send you an email after.
Okay, thank you.
My question would be on these trainings and these messaging, is there an action step? Is it don't vape? Is it stop vaping? Is it stop someone else from vaping? Even those ads that we just saw, there's no action step.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so what's the message? Is it just awareness? Or is it, I mean, if you're talking about these youth-led task force, they need to be driven, they need some motivation. So stop save a life, stop vaping, something. That's all I'm wondering about.
Yeah.
Yes. Catch My Breath is health-based. It's also harm reduction. So they are doing it a lot about how it affects the health of the person, not just in the lungs, but heart disease and other things. It talks about secondhand smoke. It goes through identifying what actually is in the vape, those types of things. So it is educational, but it's also perception and harm reduction.
Yes, I do. I like presentations like that. I definitely try to incorporate that into the presentation that we do too. So I think they could definitely supplement each other very well. But I'll take a look at both of those just because I'm unfamiliar. But I can definitely send you an email by then today or tomorrow when I get the chance to look at it, and we can see what we can do with each other to get into the schools more.
And just as a note, anything that we present or are doing in the public, we have to get approved through Ohio Department of Health. So we have had other eyes on it. So it does go through an approval process. We don't get to just say whatever we want.
All right, so moving on to the last part of the action plan for Goal 3, which is to pass T21 enforcement by June 2021. So we would like to gather youth support and representation for testimonies. So this would be youth talking about how easy it is to get a hold of these products if they're not 21, whether that's them going in themselves and being able to get it because they don't get ID'd, or they sell it to them because maybe they are 18 and they're not enforcing that 21 law now. Could be getting it from an older sibling, a friend, but just trying to gather youth support so we can show that it actually is a problem, and just have youth testimonies to kind of support our push for more enforcement with that law. And so I'm not sure if anyone, again, has a youth group or a couple of students that might be interested in that. If you do.
Hey, Cassidy,
Yes.
I'm not sure who's leading the specialized drug court docket at juvenile court, but at any one time there would be between 8 and 10, or at least that's what it used to be. Is anybody from juvenile court on the call? Okay, well, I'm sure Candace Copeland could help us make the connection, but the 8 to 10 youth that are serving on that specialized docket at any one time are working toward abstinence, and might be a really interesting group of youth to provide testimony and be a representative group. In other words, it could be a part of their being a part of the docket, is that they have some service to the task force.
Okay, that's a really great idea. You said Candace Copeland would be the contact for that.
Yeah, I can email her and copy you, just to make introductions. And she's not the drug court docket. If Katrina Lancaster, the judge, would ultimately, but there should be some probation officers assigned to the drug court docket. And if they served on the task force, then, so I don't know who they are anymore, but
Okay.
I can
Yeah,
help you
that would
make
be
the.
great.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. That helps a lot.
And Joyce, you'll probably remember that we've talked about the T21 enforcement. We've been talking about this for like, I don't even know, 2 years probably, it seems like. So I was going to reach out to Logan Cobbs and talk to you obviously as well at some point about getting that back on the city's kind of radar. And we just, so we'll be moving forward with that. And I just wanted you to be aware. I think we gave you the sample policies like maybe in February or something. It's been a while.
Right. I believe that I included Jill Allen, our law director, with that sample policy. So you're welcome to reach out to Logan, but you really need to reach out to Jill Allen.
Okay, I'll find that email back a while ago and we'll get that conversation going again.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, Cassidy, I feel like I'm talking too much, but also I just wanted you to know that we have a Clark County student. Her name is Dina Hafey Ruley, and I'll send you her contact information. She serves on the Ohio Youth-Led Prevention Network. She had to apply to be a part. So this is her second year serving on that group. And last year they were devoted to creating a vaping toolbox or toolkit. So I don't know what their goals are this year, but she would be a great kid to have represented on that.
Yeah, that would be great if you could send me her information. Thank you.
Hey, Cassidy, this is Marcy. Kind of wanted to go back a little bit. I actually go to juvenile court and work with the drug court kids every other week and do just a variety of different presentations on addiction, substance use, tobacco. And the officer that I work with is Rex Fent.
Okay. All right. Would you be able to send me his information as well?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. That helps a lot with this one then. Thank you so much. And then we, as a health department, will just have to work on our end to get support from the city of Springfield through meetings, things like that. Get support from community groups. So that can be us. That could also be all of you if you happen to come across that topic at all. But I think that is it for our action plan for now. I just wanted to go over it so we could all kind of get a refresher on what was talked about 6 months ago now at this point. But yeah, does anyone have any last questions or comments about this part? Okay.
So it's Deputy Lane.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So I guess I'll just I do anticipate us to do some more enforcement that we've been trying to do last couple of years. Where we go out and we target some businesses that are selling to our minors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look for that to decrease as far as on our end, and we'll try to coordinate those events with the health department as we make those calls. Okay.
Okay, that would be awesome.
And we do have just to kind of go back again, we do have you scheduled at another school this month. We're at Northwestern, and we're planning our second talk in December at another school. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know what school and the dates that they have available, and I can make sure that that gets done.
And your program was shared to all of the school districts to hopefully be posted on the district websites, okay?
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for setting that up. But yeah, okay. So I think that's it for the action plan. Emma, can you think of anything to add or?
I don't think so. Since Deputy Lane brought up the compliance checks, we do have a list again of the places that ODH would like us to specifically to check too. So if we want to, we can always send you the list of locations and see if any of those line up with what you were thinking as well.
Yeah, we've already received some calls over the last couple of months from concerned citizens that have reported some businesses. I've already started a list who apparently have been selling vape products to our minors. So not a problem. As we get closer, I'll reach out to you guys so I can get that list. Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. So the next thing on the agenda is upcoming events. So I don't know, was Dr. Novella able to get on? I know she said she has some cases, so she might not be on here. Or is Carolyn Young on here?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about National Lung Cancer Awareness Month? I can pull up the flyer.
Yeah, so there's a committee that's been working together through some items that are planned for the month of November to just highlight and raise awareness on lung cancer, especially since lung cancer is one of our most prominent cancers in Clark County. And so there's a number of screenings that will be taking place throughout the county. So we're trying to bring greater access there. I know there's also going to be a Facebook Live event on November 6th. I believe that's also in conjunction with Clark County Combined Health District. And then there's a series of screenings that will take place November 7th. And then it looks like we've got some November 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, I believe. November 11th. And then on the 12th, there's also going to be a Links Facebook Live Lung Cancer Awareness event. So we've been partnering with Links, who is, I believe it's like an African-American sorority that has membership across the globe. And so they're going to be hosting a live event where Dr. Sumya Naravella will talk about lung cancer awareness and education. That's everything I've got.
Awesome. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about that at all? Okay. And then the next upcoming event is, let's see, the Great American Smokeout is also in November. It's November 19th. We are still in the process of planning. We're thinking just because of COVID, it'll probably have to be in some sort of online format, whether it's maybe a Facebook Live or just a social media campaign. But for those of you that don't know, the Great American Smokeout is basically a day for people to kind of make a plan to quit smoking and quit on that date, and to kind of commit to a healthier life, a smoke-free life, and to try to stay smoke-free and learn about the options available to them in order to stay smoke-free. So that's on November 19th. It's the third Thursday. So more details to come on that, hopefully in the next few weeks while we get that planned. But I think that is it for that. Does anyone have any general updates from their organization specifically?
This is Marcy. I just wanted to reiterate that we still have our adult cessation classes going on, and of course they are a little bit smaller in size. We have enough for 6 people per group, and so the flyers, and I can send you a flyer if you want to send it out to everybody.
Yeah, that would be
I think
great.
there's only 1 class left for this year, but I'll be working on my 2021 schedule for next year. And then here at REACH, we are also still offering the alternative to suspension for any students in Champaign or Clark County that do get caught here on site. The thing that we are experiencing now, because a lot of it is vaping, and so some of the schools are not real sure what the students are vaping, so some of them are requiring that they do a complete full drug and alcohol assessment rather than just coming through a tobacco education class just in case it's marijuana. But just wanted to let you know that we are still offering the adult cessation and the ATS for any Clark and Champaign County students.
That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have an announcement from a youth-led group, and they're going to present tomorrow at the Substance Abuse Coalition. But for anybody who's not going to be at that meeting tomorrow, I have a group of kids, BATS, bringing awareness to students, that's working on a community-wide kindness campaign during COVID. That's very alliterative. Anyway, so they're urging the community to post their kind photos to hashtag Springfield Kindness. And they're doing this in collaboration with Project Women. After looking at the YRBS data, they're concerned about bullying in the schools, especially middle schools, and the high percentage of young women who experience bullying. So after everybody posts their photos, and you have until November 12th, I think, to post your favorite kind photos, catching kindness in your community. They're going to pick their favorites, and Itinerant Studio is going to enlarge them on huge poster boards. Our city manager, Brian Heck, has given the kids permission to post the final photos in the storefront windows downtown, the empty storefront windows. And the kids have figured out a way that you can vote for your favorite photo using a barcode at the bottom of each photo. So they're trying to generate excitement downtown. So on November 14th, they're having a big teenage event at the Cohatch, and they have performances by youth arts ambassadors and Gary Geist School of Dance and Ohio Performing Arts Center. They're going to be talking about kindness. They're going to be featuring youth speakers and Project Women speakers, and they also have a silent auction planned for that day, the proceeds to benefit Project Woman. So we're trying to get the word out to teenagers. And Cassidy, if you want to have information at the event about vaping, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I definitely have some information for you.
And I can let the kids know so that they can reach out to you.
Okay.
Paul, if you're thinking of any way of engaging the YMCA kids, I'd be real grateful for that. Get them to find kindness and post it, and then vote, and then come to the event.
Beth, do you have a flyer that you could send me that I could send out to everyone about the contest?
They are working on all of that.
Okay.
I've not been interfering, but I hope it comes out today. If not today, I think tomorrow is the
Okay.
that's when they're launching this. So if you guys can be looking for that on Facebook or Instagram and sharing, passing the word on to everybody.
Thank you.
And they've been out fundraising too. So the winners get $300 for first prize, $100 for second prize, and $50 for third prize.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Thank you. Does anyone else have any updates they want to share?
This is Joyce. It's not an update, but before COVID-19 hit, Beth, you were going to try to get some of your students to come to the commission for a work session. So keep that in mind and talk to our city manager.
I sure will. Thank you,
Thank you.
Joyce.
I have one thing that I'd like to just let the group know. I'm Ashley Mack. I'm the Assistant Director of Prevention at the Mental Health and Recovery Board. For those of you that I haven't had the fortune of meeting yet in person. I haven't met hardly anybody in person. Anyways, I wanted to let you guys know that here, starting, I believe in December, we're going to be kicking off a virtual series on the foundations of prevention. And this would be great for anyone who isn't necessarily in the prevention field or offering prevention services yet. Somebody who's just kind of interested in learning more about prevention, if it is something that they would like to either look at receiving funding for or just gaining a better understanding of it. But I should also say it would be ideal for individuals who are new in the prevention field and are trying to acquire their prevention hours to obtain certification. So we'll be getting some information out about that, but it is going to be a series. I think it's going to be a 9-series event. There'll be a training once a month for 9 months, and it's going to be a really fantastic training. So just putting that out there. Once we get the dates solidified, I will share it with Cassidy if that's okay, and then we could send it out to the group. Yeah.
Yep, I can definitely do that.
Great.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Does anyone else have any last updates they would like to share before we all sign off? All right. Emma, do you have anything else to add?
No, just wanted to thank you guys for being so patient with us through all of this COVID stuff. I know that it hasn't been a super smooth process and it doesn't help when we have staff changes as well. So, you know, I just really appreciate you guys sticking with us and helping us move on this topic, because at this point, we know that COVID's not going anywhere. And so we still have to focus on other health issues in our community. And I just hope you guys know how much we appreciate you guys and your work and all of that. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for coming today. If you have anything for me to send out to everyone, please go ahead and do that, and I'll include it with the minutes and when I send out the recording of this presentation as well. But yeah, I think that's it for today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.